Hello everyone, welcome to another Music Talk Tuesday, and today I'm going to be diving into some songs that are about being thankful. And I figured that would be an interesting topic considering the fact that Thanksgiving is slowly approaching. And oftentimes, unfortunately, I think there is a tendency to overlook Thanksgiving. So without further ado, let me address the first song. That being Thank You for Being a Friend by Andrew Gold. What's really fun about this song is that it has this very cheery and enjoyable sound to it. Along with the vocalist, he does kind of emphasize the true appreciation he has. And in particular, in this case, as you can probably tell by the title, it's for his friend. And it doesn't really say specifically what this or exactly who this friend is. So I think this can be, again, open to interpretation. But he shows his thanks in sort of a variety of ways within the lyrics. At one point, he's talking about sort of, honoring his friend, like, come up and sort of take a bow. And also as to exactly how appreciative he is and what he would be willing to do for his friend to kind of show his appreciation. And I think that's something that's sort of important to emphasize, in particular with the whole idea of Thanksgiving. It's not just the things that you're thankful for, but the people as well. And I think that's something that's very important, and I think is thoroughly emphasized throughout the song, and it has a very nice approach to it, and so I would definitely recommend that one if you are interested in that kind of material. The second song that I wanted to briefly talk about is Thank You by Dido, or Dido? I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce the name. All I remember is that it was from the 90s, at least from what I could tell. And I remember the song being replayed on the radio. And I think also there was kind of like a remix with Eminem, I believe, with Dido at one point. But I'm just talking about the direct song, not the Eminem sort of remix thing that they made out of it. What I really like about this song in particular is that it's fairly relaxing and mellow throughout. It doesn't really have the upbeat nature of the previous song, but you still feel the kind of heart and the gratitude shine through. With its great instrumentals, which are varied in various tones and sounds. And the interesting thing is that it does sound like something that would come from the 90s. And for some reason, it's so hard for me to exactly pin down what the 90s sound like. But when I listen to this song, I think of the 90s for some reason. Basically, it throughout the song talks about being thankful for somebody who was there for the narrator or singer of the song. It is also fairly ambiguous as to exactly who this person is, but they're sort of, I think, thankful in the sense of more so of the person's actions towards them, and in doing so being fairly appreciative of them. And it's emphasized within the song that this is a very high regard. At one point it says, I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life, so to speak. So it's something that's supposed to, I think, be fairly deep, at least to the narrator. So very soothing song, one that I think has a lot of meaning and heart to it. And I like too how it kind of emphasized this sort of mundane day to day, and how, once this person comes in, it just lights up their world. So it's it's kind of interesting how it sort of plays out in that way. But as far as from what I can tell and how it sort of sounded, that's kind of at least the messages that I was hearing. Third song is called Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again. Now the interesting thing is the way this, and this is by Sly and the Family Stone. The funny thing is this song, the way it spells for letting me be myself again, is spelled all like incorrectly, and it's kind of put in this little gibberish. I have no idea why they decided to do that for the song, but they chose to do that. And what I really like about this song is it has that really awesome 70s funk that I do really enjoy. I mean, it's just so catchy. But the interesting thing too is instead of the two previous songs that more discussed about being thankful for somebody else, this song is addressing sort of the self and saying thank you for letting me be myself, so to speak. Thank you for letting me uh, be me, so to speak, and I guess really appreciating who I am. But it's really hard to exactly get an exact interpretation because there's a lot of kind of randomness that goes on throughout the song. It's not exactly clear the um, deeper underlying message. But what I've said before is kind of an overview. But there was also sort of a direct inspiration behind the song because, uh, in particular, the person in the band, Sly Stone, um, was upset that people were not listening to what were the messages that were presented in the songs that the band has made. And so I guess that's sort of why he made this song. uh, but again, when I read through the lyrics, it's definitely kind of difficult to pinpoint an exact interpretation, but that's largely what the song is trying to base itself off of. Um, and I think he sort of wanted to kind of express himself in a way that he felt that I think was appropriate and was sort of um, maybe even sort of saying to the fans, "Thank you for letting me be myself again." So again, still something that can be interpreted in a variety of different ways, but clearly the title is there, and that message sort of rings true throughout the song. Second to last song I wanted to briefly mention is Thank You. And the funny thing is she spells the thank you with just the U. Yeah, for some reason a lot of these songs like to just put in different ways of spelling things. But this is in particular by Alanis Morissette. Now, um, this is also a rather interesting sort of thank you song because she's talking about a trip that she went to in India, and that's where they say she really got the inspiration for the song. Um, and I guess she felt a sense of appreciation to, I guess, really explore that area and take away that experience. Um, and I think that's very powerful. I think traveling in particular has a huge impact on people. It can even be a culture shock at times, and I think uh, it's really cool to see a song that's sort of expressing a thank you in that sense for being able to uh, have an experience like it. And there is a lot of emotion and passion that is put together within this song, and you really do see that shine through, especially through her voice. Uh, so I think it's definitely one worthy of recommendation. And exactly what she's thanking India about, or it's again, it's kind of a bunch of words sort of together, and it's not really exactly clear. at least from what I could tell. But at the same time, you can really you really do feel the impact that at least it gave to her, and hence why she dedicated a whole song to it. Last song I want to briefly mention is Thank You by none other than Led Zeppelin. This song is interesting because it actually doesn't say thank you within the lyrics at all, but it does say thanks, sort of um, for the lover in his life. At least he says thanks within it, but it never says the words thank you. So yeah, it's kind of strange in that sense. But he sort of talks about his uh, appreciation, devotion, and whatnot. And it's a fairly simple, but again, at the same time, it has that great Led Zeppelin sound that I think a lot of people have grown to love and enjoy listening to. And I think it's even though it has maybe a certain simplicity to it, I still think there is a lot that can be enjoyed from it, and at the same time, there's a lot of kind of little bits of poetry-esque lyrics that he tries to insert in there, which I think is also gives it a nice touch. But yeah, those are all of the songs that I wanted to mention for this classic, or excuse me, Music Talk Tuesday. But thank you so much for watching. I will be sure to put all the music below so that you may enjoy them at your own free will. But thank you for watching, and hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.